Here comes the money. You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
Welcome to Gambling with Gold. My name is Jason Gold, and as always, I am joined by my buddy Dan Titus from the Action Network. Dan, how are we doing this New Year's Eve day?
Ready to pop off, man. It's a celebration. It's Friday. Don't really have that much work going on other than talking sports here. I know we got some college football games. I don't really keep up with college that much just because I have no time to. But, man, this is going to be a great weekend. We got basketball, football, man, New Year's celebrations. It's all good. Love it.
Yeah, we got two incredible semifinal games in college football today. We will not be talking about that today, but I will give out my best bet for the two games. I'm going to give out Alabama -7 first half. Love that one. Kind of like the under in that game too. Like Michigan first half +4 money line on that also. Wouldn't trust them for the game. I'm not sure about the over under in that one. I would kind of lean towards the over actually, despite the fact that they're two defensively minded teams. So those are my bets for college football. Let's move on to what we came here for. This is episode 44 of our podcast, our Week 17 best bets. Dan, why don't you start us off? Your number one pick of the week is
Chiefs -5.5 versus the Bengals. I already put this in the Action Network app. I got this just to make sure that there wasn't any. I mean, hey, it's Friday. We've been hearing a lot of news today, so there's a lot of things that are moving lines. So you got to lock in stuff when you see it. And for me, I feel like the Bengals, they're just totally inconsistent. You know, losses to the Jets and the Browns throughout the season. I think they're getting a lot of benefit from Joe Burrow's 5 TD performance last week. So they have the easiest strength of schedule. They really haven't beaten they don't really have any quality wins on their resume here. They've beaten the Baltimore Ravens twice, but they're not very good. And they've lost a bunch of close games to really competitive teams like the Packers and so, like, I just can't get behind why they're not more at a deficit than 5.5 points here against the Chiefs, who are probably the best team in football right now. Seems that their defense has been lights out since probably about week 8. So, yeah, they're winning the turnover battles. The only way that the Cincinnati Bengals can stay in this game is if Joe Mixon has a hell of a day, and it's going to take a little bit more than that. So, I'm going to take the Chiefs here -5.5.
all right. I like it. I actually bet Kansas City -4.5. I saw it this morning.
Ooh,
locked
nice.
that one in. Not much of a difference in general between 4.5 and 5.5, but I'll still take the free point just in case something weird happens.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. I'm totally with you on this game. We talked about it on our episode 43, our Week 17 preview. Liked Kansas City in this spot. I thought it was a good time to fade the Bengals after such a dominant win last week. Chiefs are riding high. That defense is playing great. I think that Burrow and their wide receivers are going to struggle versus this defense. And Mahomes in December, man. Tough to slow them down. Kansas City's on a roll. Andy Reid has them cooking. Tyreek back. Kelsey back. Full strength. The Chiefs, got to like it under a touchdown for me.
Minus CEH, right. But CEH was kind of he wasn't.
Is that really important?
Darrell Williams has been solid, man. So it's not like they lost much in the running back room. So yeah, I think that this Chiefs team is scary right now.
I actually like Darrell Williams more than CEH because they don't feel the need to force him the ball.
You know, like I feel like they're forcing it to him because of the draft capital. But honestly, when you look at the numbers and the pass blocking, like Darrell Williams is a beast. So I agree. I tend to agree with you, man.
All right. Before I get to my number one pick, a couple of Champions Round things on board. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton jerseys up for grab. You can still get that. All you got to do is DM us the phrase mile high for your eligibility to win those. We are giving it away on Sunday. AJ Dillon, we're giving away that jersey, signed jersey, on IG Live Sunday morning, 8 a.m. at Champions Round. That'll be cool. We'll do like a half an hour discussion on all your fantasy football needs. Give that away. Good times. And then we have 376 contests that are starting on Sunday. 2 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. Go enter. We're giving away a ton of free swag there too, including a Deion Sanders signed jersey, which I want to grab my hands on. I would love to put that behind. Yeah.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if I'm going to be retweeting and liking, man. I would love to have some prime time in my background here.
Love that. Yeah, we're giving away a Deion Sanders and a Patrick Surtain jersey for the late slate on Sunday. So nice. Good ones there. Go join those 7-6 contests on the Champions Round app right now. All right, my number one bet of the week.
Which Deion jersey is it?
Cowboys.
Okay.
You can't get it. I don't think you're allowed to put that one up in your house.
Nope, can't do it. Can't do it.
Got it. Yeah, if it was a Falcons one, I'd tell you to get in on it.
Right.
All right, my number one pick of the week. We talked about it on the previous show. Tennessee -3. That's the line at Circa, so that's where I'm going to use. Rest of the market right now 3.5, 4. Okay. Well, this is my show, so I got to use whatever number I want. I'm going to give Tennessee. I'm going to give out Tennessee -3. I would bet it at 3.5. In fact, I already did. Love the money line too. I do kind of like Miami as a teaser piece if you can get the 9.5, 9. But like we talked, Miami on a short week after beating New Orleans on Monday. They have to travel on the road. This team has not beaten a real team outside of Baltimore. We just talked about how Baltimore might not actually be that good in their 7-game winning streak. Tennessee is a tough-minded team. I think this defense is going to absolutely bring it against Tua. I think Tua is going to have some turnovers in this game. I think that the A.J. Brown difference we saw versus the 49ers makes a huge difference in this offense. Totally opens it up for Ryan Tannehill. Little sneaky Ryan Tannehill getting back at the Dolphins spot, maybe. Don't hate that angle. I love Vrabel as a coach. I think that he'll have them ready to go. And they need a win because they need to keep pace with the Colts, who will look like they're probably going to run it out all the way to the end of the season with victory. So give me Tennessee -3. That is my best bet of week 17.
I love it, man. This is my number 3 best bet. We talked about it on the Tuesday show, or Wednesday, excuse me. But yeah, this is really to me a fade of the Miami Dolphins. The Titans' weakness is really in their run game, and the Miami Dolphins can't run the ball whatsoever. They're giving carries to literally everyone that's on their roster at this point. And yeah, I just really like the Titans spot, mainly because they're on 9 days rest. They came out. We saw what that offense looked like when they have their main playmakers on the field. That's not Derrick Henry, but A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. So I think Tannehill might actually have something here. This is the right time for them to get on the right path. And, you know, the Miami Dolphins, they've had a bit of luck, some favorable schedule matchups. Their defense has been lights out, but I think that this is where this comes to a halt here, and I think the Miami Dolphins are a bit too. There's given a little bit too much to them in the market right now, and surprising, this game opened up at 3.5. It hasn't moved at all. So yeah, I like the Titans here. Take care of business.
All right, your number 2 pick of week 17 is.
Number 2 pick, as nasty as this sounds, God,
we love gross. We love gross. Do it.
It's not as gross as it really is. I just don't like talking about the Cowboys, but I'm taking Dallas. I got them at -5.5. I see it now that it's moved up to around 6.5 in some books. But I'm fading Cliff Kingsbury. I've been waiting to do it all season. Through the first 8 weeks of the season, this guy was one of the best coaches, arguably coach of the year. But he has a bad track record after week 8. He's 8-19 for his career after week 8. This team is trending in the wrong direction. No D-Hop. It looks like James Conner might not be able to be available as well, so it's going to be Chase Edmonds. Now, while this Dallas offense hasn't been as good as they were earlier in the season, Dak's been a little bit rough. Their defense has been really good, and I really trust this front seven as well as their linebacking core led by Micah Parsons. Man, this guy is just an animal monster. Wouldn't be surprised if he's spying Kyler Murray. And Kyler's down some weapons, man. It's going to take more than A.J. Green and Christian Kirk to get past this Dallas defense. So at 5.5 points, the way that the Dallas Cowboys have been playing, I'm gonna lay it with them. I trust them here in this spot, and 5.5 was a good number. See it now at 6.5. I wouldn't go higher than probably 6.5. I think a touchdown's a bit too much, but yeah, until we see it from Kyler without his true weapons out there, I'm not sure that I can believe it.
How do you feel about Dallas -6.5 as a teaser piece? Because that seems like a bang for me.
Bang it. I love it.
All right. I've originally liked Arizona in this game because I thought it was too many points for Dallas. But given the way that the market has moved, and I'm looking at the Action Network app right now, Dallas is getting 82% of the money on 54% of bets. So very clear that the Sharps are moving this. Yep. Absolutely. 6.5, I probably expect some buyback by the time we get to Sunday, outside of any sort of COVID news that would move it. If this gets to 7, the Sharps are definitely going to hit Arizona. So we're kind of getting to the point where maybe I'd bet on Arizona at 5.5. I'm probably with you on Dallas. We've talked about Cliff forever. This is the time to fade him, especially with the way that this Arizona roster, we actually talked about this a couple weeks ago, but the way this Arizona roster is constructed, they're very fast, but they're not big, especially on the lines, and they tend to get injured, and they wear down as the season goes. Same thing for Kyler. He's short. He's small. Once he gets a couple hits in him, just doesn't look the same. He can scramble around as much as he wants to, but he broke off one against Indianapolis last week, but it's just not the same without D-Hop and without J.J. Watt. Like, their whole season's flipped on J.J. Watt not being there.
100%, man. Their defense was one of the best surprise defenses in the NFL, and then ever since J.J. Watt went out, they've just been letting up a ton of yards, and they're getting beat up front. So, yeah, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't continue against a Dallas team that's proven to be one of the best in the NFC right now. And they're 11-3 against the spread, which, them and the Packers, they pretty much haven't missed all year. So it's got to ride with the public here a little bit, but the Sharps seem to be moving that direction as well, which is always a good signal.
I think that everybody and their mother is on the Cowboys right now, which is not a great position to be always, but the Sharps are moving in, so you got to trust them. I do like the under 52 in this game. I do not think it's going to be super high scoring. I think that, especially after last week with Dallas putting up 56 burger, I think that this number is inflated a little bit. Arizona hasn't been scoring a lot. Dallas, I expect them to run the ball, which is kind of Arizona's deficiency, extend the game. Let Pollard and Zeke roll. I actually kind of probably like the Pollard over rushing yard prop once it gets posted Saturday. But I'm with you. So under 52 for me, and Dallas as a teaser piece, probably my best bets in that game. All right. Number 2 pick of the week for me, Pittsburgh plus 3.5. This is the Tomlin rah-rah at home underdog spot. Big Ben send off Monday Night Football at 3.5 at home. Are you kidding me? I can see them losing this game, but it's not happening by more than a field goal. So give me Pittsburgh plus 3.5 and give me Pittsburgh plus 9.5 as the best teaser piece on the board this week.
My number 5 bet right there. And I can't, it's big. This is Big Ben's show. I mean, it's going to be Big Ben, his final appearance, probably in prime time. I got to think that the team's going to rally around him here. And we know that, Mike Tomlin in those underdog spots has always been very profitable from a betting perspective. So against this Cleveland team that we talked about a lot, most of these games become within a field goal over the course of history here. So I just don't trust Baker Mayfield. The dude's a backup at best at this point. If there's anything that the Cleveland Browns can do, it's run the ball with Chubb, and hopefully that will get him to the promised land. But at one point, Baker's going to have to throw the ball, and that's when it's all going to unravel and go to shit. So 3.5 points. I'm trusting Big Ben here. He played like crap last week, but I got to expect he's going to try to go out on top. Maybe it's his Kobe moment. We'll see.
All right. Looking at the Action Network app, we have Pittsburgh, 59% of the bets, 99% of the money on Pittsburgh. So
Sheesh.
Sharps are firing in on that. A little scary that this hasn't moved down to 3, but
at all, man, that's crazy.
I gotta still take the 3.5. All right, I'll give my third one because you already gave out your third. San Francisco minus 12.5. I don't care if this is Trey Lance or Jimmy G. Looks like it's going to be Lance.
Yeah,
gotta fade Houston after the big win last week. I think that the 49ers, they desperately need a win. That loss against Tennessee last week really kind of screwed them in the playoff race. I think they're going to come out guns blazing here, run the ball all over the field. I think it's a big day for Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, all of them combined. I think Lance is going to have his best game as a pro. Debo and Kittle are going to get theirs. I also like the over 44.5 in this game. Probably going to be on the team total for San Francisco over 28.5 as well. I just think it's an absolute smash spot for San Francisco, and they had 10 days off. I think they get right. This is a team that always needs to get healthy. They're always injured. So, yeah, give me a 12.5 at home for San Francisco.
San Francisco is about to get really scary. I mean, we don't know how long Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be out, but we saw Trey Lance early in the season, and he just clearly wasn't ready. He's had several weeks now to get more acclimated to the playbook, and now he's got literally all of his weapons available right now. Like, they were still experimenting with Trey Sermon. He's obviously not it. When you got Elijah Mitchell and Jeff Wilson healthy, that's a legitimate running backfield stable. And then you also got Debo that can get into the mix. And Ayuka stayed healthy. George Kittle is actually healthy at the end of the season. This San Francisco team is going to make waves, man. And I would not want to face them in the playoffs right now. And especially if you have to adjust. Imagine if Trey Lance winds up being the starter for the remainder of the season if Jimmy Garoppolo can't play. It's going to be really interesting to scheme against this team.
San Francisco is really dangerous outside of their quarterbacks, and their cornerbacks stink. But Davis Mills has played well, but I don't anticipate that it's going to continue this week. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure in his face. Brandon Cooks, we don't know if he's going to play or not in this one. That could be damaging to them. Also worth noting, Action Network, 18% of the bets and 94% of the money on San Francisco. If that's not a sharp move, I don't know what the hell is. So I'm backing with the Sharps. Give me San Francisco minus 12.5.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see it. You're Houston played the best game that they probably have played in, man, it's been a long time. But
Yeah.
for Rex Burkhead to go off for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, like that's not happening against this San Francisco defense.
All right. Let me get your number 4 bet of the week.
Number 4, going with Tampa Bay, -13 versus the Jets. This is literally just Tom Brady versus the Jets. He owns them. He has a storied career of just demolishing them. Even without Bruce Arians, he may not be on the field. There are some rumors that AB may not give it a go. His ankle might not be in a condition that he might be able to play. And if there's a time for him to rest, it would definitely be against the bum ass Jets. But even if he's not there, you still got Gronk. You should be getting Mike Evans back on the field. Plenty of weapons for Tom Brady at his disposal to still get this done. I just don't see the Jets are going to generate any points. They're still coming back off of this COVID layover here. Zach Wilson, he ran away. They got a nice little victory. But honestly, it's just not much I can trust in with the Jets offense. Don't know what playmakers are going to be out there. And frankly, I'll scheme against a rookie quarterback all day. And especially Zach Wilson, his inconsistencies have been pretty proven throughout the season. So Tampa Bay, they're one of the best teams in the NFC. Jets, they're going nowhere fast. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 13. It's a lot, but they can definitely do it.
Love it. Like the under 45 in this game. Don't think the Jets are going to be able to score very much. My anticipation is that AB will play because he has so much money on the line for some of these.
I was literally going to say that, dude. He's got some incentives that he's got to hit, and he's got to be on the field for him. Do you have the actual numbers for some of the things he has to hit?
I know that he needs 279 yards to hit a bonus over the next 2 weeks. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brady throws the ball a ton to try and get a number. Not sure the other ones. And I'm not sure the props. The props look like they've been taken down, but you said that you'd seen them earlier today.
Right. Yeah. So the props got taken down, but as I'm looking at it, AB needs 21 receptions to get $333,000. So that one might be a little bit of a reach. And 182 receiving yards for another 332. 182.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. And 5 TDs for another. He's going to have to be like, putting up some Randy Moss like numbers the last 2. I should say Cooper Kupp like numbers over the last 2 weeks to really get that bread. But, Tommy B's been looking out for him for quite some time now. So, if it's an ankle injury, we know AB needs some money. He's got a lot of baby mamas and legal bills to pay for. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he gave it a go.
Love it. Yeah, I think I'm still going to bet with the under 45. AB, if he plays, I'll do all the over props just because. Jets have given up so many rushing touchdowns this year, like historically, it's a historical amount. So give me the maybe Rojo anytime touchdown, maybe Brady sneak anytime touchdown. Maybe if we want to get a little spicy, we'll go Keyshawn Vaughn back-to-back weeks anytime touchdown. Why not? They're going to get some rushing touchdowns in this game for sure.
Yeah, they seem to like Keyshawn Vaughn now. He was in the doghouse last year. I know he was one of those dynasty darlings last season. Then he just got shipped out to the bench when they got Leonard Fournette. But now he's got his time to shine, and he's looked pretty good. So I could see it.
All right, my last 2 picks for the top 5: Denver plus 6.5 at the Chargers. This line has moved a little bit against me, or in my favor, I guess, because I get 6.5 now. My whole thinking on this is I don't really care who the quarterback for Denver is. I know that the Chargers lost last week. Probably a good spot to take them, but it's a divisional game. They're both still theoretically in the playoff race. Chargers really need this win. Denver can still fight their way in. Yeah. But I think that Denver's going to be able to run the ball on this Chargers defense that we know is pathetic against the run. And we know that these games are going to be very close and that the Chargers are going to have some struggle, or are going to struggle a little bit against this Denver defense that can absolutely lock down half of the field, if not more. So I think it'll be low scoring. I already bet the under 46. I think that the Chargers win. I think the Chargers win by 3 to 4. I think 6.5 is too big of a number for Denver. So give me Denver plus 6.5 for my number 4 bet of the week. Number 5 bet of the week. I'm anticipating that Carson Wentz is going to come back. Give me Indy minus 6.5. This line is now looking like it's going to be at 7. If he comes back, it might go back to its original 8.5, 9.5 here. Indy's just a team on a roll. They're getting healthy. They get Darius Leonard back. The Raiders, we've talked about it, 2 easy wins, layup wins for them that they cut really, really close.
Made it really interesting when they didn't have to. Yeah.
This team is 8-7, but they should not be 8-7. Every stat in the world tells you that they should not be anywhere close to that record. They've been lucky. Indianapolis has one of the best rosters in the NFL. I expect JT to run all over them. I expect Wentz to be productive if he plays. If it's Ellinger, I'll probably fade out of this one. I'm not sure where I would go with my fifth. Maybe probably Kansas City, to be honest with you. I was going to do Washington plus 3.5. I still really like that one, but with Gibson out, can't really quite pull the trigger on that one. That number also moved up to 4.5 now. So
what about the Saints and Carolina Panthers with Sam Darnold? That's always fun to fade that guy.
Yeah, I don't know who's starting for New Orleans. If it's Taysom Hill -7, I mean, it's gross. Carolina's not going to score, but yeah, I don't think that I want to get involved in that one. But for now, I'm anticipating that Wentz is going to play. I anticipate that the Colts will play well. The Colts really need a win to secure their playoff spot, and I think they're going to demolish Vegas. So give me 6.5 there. And I also love over 44.5 in that game. We talked about this earlier in the week, but teams after they play Denver score a lot, and those games have gone like 11-3 or 11-4 towards the over. So Vegas coming off, they played terribly last week on offense. I anticipate they'll score a little bit more against Indy, but I think that overall that game is going to see a lot more than 44.5 points. So give me the over in that one.
I like it.
All right. Other bets that I have for the week, I'll give my totals, and I'll send it over to you. Vegas, Indy over 44.5. Philly, Washington over 44.5. Chargers, Denver under 46. Miami, Tennessee under 40. And San Francisco, Houston over 44.
Yeah, I got the under, bold one. KC and Cincinnati got under 51. And I'm going under 41 for Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
All right. Teaser pieces I like this week. Pittsburgh, Indy, Green Bay. Green Bay, you might not be able to get it anymore because Kirk Cousins is out. That line is going to shoot up, but I already have it from -7 to -1. Chargers to win outright, 6.5. New Orleans, Washington, 3.5 to 9.5. Miami, 3.5 to 9.5. Maybe Seattle as a money line play, but I don't really trust that one right now, to be honest with you. I'd probably stick with the top 7 there.
Yeah, the other one, the Minnesota Green Bay game jumped up to 13.5 with news that Kirk Cousins is going to be on the COVID list. So yeah, that one's probably the stay away. But I mean, they still got Dalvin Cook, and so if they're smart, they'll try to do what the Browns were doing before they let the game in the hands of Baker Mayfield. But yeah, 13.5 still a lot. And then I was trying to see if there's any other action there. What are your thoughts on the Giants and the Bears? Still seeing that the Bears are 6-point favorites there.
Yeah, so I thought that the Bears early in the week, if they start Big Dick Nick, that would be a good spot at -6. Great spot as a teaser to get it down to a pick 'em. And I've heard on basically every podcast that I've listened to, every sort of sharp money says that you're supposed to bet the Giants in this game. So seems like a stay away for me. Don't really want to touch it. My lean would probably still be towards the Bears winning the game outright, but Giants +6 is a popular number amongst pros. So definitely going to stay away from me. How about you?
Yeah, no, I was thinking it could possibly be a teaser piece for the Bears, just get them to a pick 'em, but that'd probably be it. But yeah, that would mainly be contingent on I trust Nick Foles more than I would trust Justin Fields at this point. Nick Foles is just a winner. He'll figure out a way to get it done. He can actually move the ball down the field, whereas Justin Fields, I don't know if I can trust that too much.
Fair enough. We have a couple other games that we haven't discussed yet. Maybe we should talk about it just for a little bit and send it to people out New Year's Eve with some extra spicy bets, perhaps. Eagles -4.5 at Washington. Do you think that the Gibson's theoretically now worth 1 point? Do you think that that's too big of a move?
I think so, because, while Antonio Gibson was really good over the last 3 weeks, last week he got that early touchdown, but wasn't really that active otherwise in that game, like as a factor. You have Taylor Heineke back, and this is really, to me, I would think that Taylor Heineke's status would be more important than Antonio Gibson's, because I don't really see that they're going to be able to establish the run as much as they would like to, just based on the way that the Eagles have been playing as of late. So yeah, a point is a lot for Antonio Gibson. I bet the Eagles at 3.5. I don't know that I want to go 4.5. I feel like 3.5 was probably even still a little bit bold. So I think it's a good teaser piece potentially if you want to take the football team, tease them up to around 9. I think that might be a play, but yeah, other than that, I took the Birds at 3.5. I wouldn't take him at 4.5, even though Antonio Gibson is still important. He's been spelled for much of the last couple weeks or so, just because they're not going anywhere, and to risk any further injury to his shin, leg, whatever that is that he's got going on there, stress fracture, no point.
I don't foresee very many running backs being worth 1 point towards the line. JT, sure.
Derrick Henry, maybe
Henry, but outside of that, Kamara maybe a little bit. Cook, no. So it's a really limited list. 1 point seems like a little bit of an overreaction. 4.5, I might sprinkle on that one. New England, Jacksonville. New England at 16, over under 41.5 right now. Belichick just eats up on rookie quarterbacks, and Lawrence does not look like a very good one right now.
No, he does not.
I don't know what you want to. That number is so fucking massive. Like I'm tempted to bet Jacksonville just because it's so big, but I'm probably not getting in the way of that one.
Yeah, what did this open up at 15 and now it's 16?
Yeah.
See some 16.5s, man. This is getting out of control. I'll just stay away from it. I'll just watch Bill Belichick just annihilate Trevor Lawrence pretty much.
Fair enough. Atlanta plus 14 at Buffalo, over under 44. Seems like way too many points. We talked about it on the Wednesday show that this opened up at 9, or the look ahead was 9. Seems like 5 points adjustment, probably too much, but Atlanta can't really score. Buffalo destroys bad teams. Is Atlanta actually a bad team? Not 100% sure. Lean towards Atlanta, especially if you get the 14.5 hook that is out there some places. How about you?
I lean towards Atlanta too, but I'd probably be more interested in the props at this point. Atlanta's defense sucks, and I'd be interested in some Devin Singletary with a spread that wide. I think you could definitely see a commitment to the run, or at least he's been the most capable back for them. So I would be looking at his rushing attempts prop, or potentially his rushing prop, which would probably be around 48, 50 yards or something like that. So that seems pretty reasonable with a spread that wide. And then also Josh Allen. Not much of a correlation here, but I just feel like he's going to be passing a lot. Stephon Diggs has some money on the line, I believe. Some incentives. Let me see real quick what his incentives were. He needs 18 more receptions this season to get 750 added to his base salary. So I mean, he could get 9 receptions over the last couple of games. That's certainly something that could be done. So yeah, I'm going to take the over on Josh Allen's passing props. Also curious to see what Stephon Diggs is sitting at, but don't currently see them right now.
All right. Last game that we haven't touched on at all. Surprisingly, we talked about this team a little bit, but the Ravens +5 at home against the Rams, over under 46.5. Lamar, I think, is pretty firm to this point. He's not able to play Sunday. Like it's going to be Tyler Huntley. People don't think that that's much of an adjustment, especially with the way that Lamar has looked as of late and how Huntley played against Green Bay. Right. I'm not so sure about that. The line has moved to 1.5, so it does say that Huntley is a little bit of a downgrade here. Still feels like a really bad spot for the Rams traveling cross country, but given the way the Baltimore's defenses look, their yards per play average, the way that Cooper Kupp is just a monster, and the way that Sony Michel, to be honest with you, is running the ball, I don't know. I still lean towards Baltimore, but I don't really have a strong conviction on this one anymore.
I mean, the Ravens secondary has just been obliterated. So, you're going up against Cooper Kupp. Good luck. Whether it's Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson, this team has been trending down for quite some time now. They've eked out some wins that weren't of the good variety. So going up against a Rams team that I think is clicking at the right time. You're right. I think Sony Michel has been the game changer for them, really. This dude's been running wild, pretty much what he should have been doing in New England if he actually got a fair shot at the carries. But he looks great. And even if they have to spell him with Darrell Henderson, he's still very capable. So, yeah, I think this offense is too good. The Ravens haven't seen enough from them. Tyler Huntley's been riding high. Fantasy-wise, he's probably more of a gamer than in real life. So I think that the McVay will probably scheme up something to keep him at bay, prevent him from using his wheels a little bit. Like, let's not forget, on the other side of the ball, you're facing Von Miller and Aaron Donald here. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's anybody that's going to stop a mobile quarterback, it's going to be them. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Rams here, 5.5. All
right. Fair enough. That does it for our Week 17 best bets. We will be back next week for the final week of the NFL regular season, and we will be back. We will be here for all of the playoff rounds with all of our best bets each week as we go on. Remember to follow us on Champions Round on Instagram and Twitter for more information on all of our giveaways. Also, be sure to check out our TikTok and YouTube short channel for more information on all those giveaways and some announcements also. That does it for this week. Happy New Year. Enjoy it. Stay safe. Stay well. Get drunk. Have a good time. And enjoy the college football games today. Until then, see you later.
Happy New Year.